Welcome to this tutorial brought to you by River City Graphics. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the DataGrid component in Flash. So to get started, we're going to create an ActionScript 3 document. Then I'm going to set up the stage for today's tutorial. And today we're going to be adding some concert dates into the DataGrid. So we're going to say concert dates, and then we're going to put that up in the corner. And then underneath it, we're going to grab our component. So we're going to go to Window, then we're going to go to Components, and we're going to drag out the DataGrid. And with that, I'm going to grab the transform tool and we're just going to make it bigger. So I'm going to set this reference point over here so that I can take and size it long ways without having too much trouble. And then we're going to just put that in the middle. That looks about right. We might need to make it a little bit taller. So I'll just size that, or I'll just move that down. Try and center it as best as I can. And then lastly, we're going to need another text box underneath, and that's just going to render out what data we've selected within our data grid. So we're going to have that, and it needs to be a dynamic text box, so it should be dynamic text. For the dynamic text box, we're going to need to call that, let's call it my text as far as the instance name goes. Okay, so my txt, and then for the data grid we're going to call the instance name DataGrid. So now I think we're ready to start coding this out. So we're going to go to the first frame in our timeline and then click on Actions on the Actions tab here, or you can go to the Actions window. And now we're ready to start. So first we need to put some stuff into our data grid. So the way we're going to do this is using variables. So we're going to say var, and we're going to call it event1, and it's going to be an object, so colon object with a capital O, space equals space, open curly bracket, and then basically now what we're going to do is start saying what we want the things inside to be. So we're probably going to have 3 columns such as date, time, and location, because that's what you need to know for an event. So the first thing is date, and then colon, then quotes, then a comma, and I'll just fill this in afterwards so you guys can kind of see the format. We're going to do time, colon, 2 quotes, comma, space, then location, colon, 2 quotes, and then we need to do a space, close curly bracket, semicolon. Now inside this we need to come up with some basically a date, time, and location for this event. So let's say that it's July 15th, 2010. Okay. Then we need a time, let's say 5:30 p.m. And then for the location, we'll say, how about New York City, New York. Okay, so now let's add some more events. So we're going to probably put 3 more events in here. So we're going to do that, and then just to change it up, we're going to need to make that event 2, event 3, and event 4. So now within this we need to change the dates up. So let's say August 21st for this one. Let's say for this one, how about they're doing 2 in that month, so let's say August 29th. And then for the last one we'll do it in September 30th. Alright, and then the year is all the same. And then we'll change this one to, how about 6 o'clock? Okay, and this one can be at 6:30, and this one can be at 7. Okay, and then for these we'll do, how about, let's do St. Louis, Missouri. Then for another location we can do Los Angeles, and that's California. And then let's do how about San Antonio? San Antonio, and that's Texas. Okay. So now we have our 4 events, and they're in variables. Now we haven't technically added these to the data grid yet, but now that we have each of these things set out, we can. So first we're going to actually set up our columns. So we're going to say DataGrid dot columns, and then space equals space, and then we need a bracket, not a curly bracket, just a regular bracket, and then we're going to do 2 quotes, comma, space, 2 quotes, comma, space, 2 quotes, closing bracket, closing, or just a semicolon. And then inside of these we need to put these 3 things that we had. So we had date, time, and location. So we're going to put in date inside of that one. We're going to put in time, and then location. So now that we've done that, we're going to, actually we can add in some script so that we can resize our columns if we need to. So we can say DataGrid .resizable, and then capital C for columns. Okay, and then space equals space true, and then that will allow us to resize the columns. Make sure I spelled this right. Yep, I need to take out that E. I was wondering why it wasn't changing to the color. Alright, so now what we need to do is actually add in the objects into our data grid. So this is going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to say DataGrid.add item with a capital I, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, semicolon, and then inside the parentheses we're going to put event 1, and then we're just going to copy this line for each of the other events. Oh, I spelled grid wrong. That's frustrating. So now I've copied it. Actually, let's just fix this on the top one, and then we'll copy it over these other ones. Okay, so now we just need to change the event to 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so now I'm just going to do Control Test Movie, and we should see our data grid. And there we go. You can see each of our things are in it, and they're according to the date, time, and location. And basically, from this resizing columns code that we added in, that allows you to take and just size these up once the file is actually being tested if you want to. If you want to actually size them, like pre-size them, I'll show you how you can do that. You can take and do DataGrid.columns, and then you can do bracket, open bracket, close bracket, and then dot width, space equals space, and then say for like the first one we'll do 120, and then basically you need a 0 in here if it's the first column, and then for the second column inside the brackets we'll put a 1, and we'll probably need that one to be less, so we'll put it at like 70, something like that. And then you can see that it actually sizes those. Oh, we have an error. Oh, I spelled columns wrong. Interesting. C-O-L. Okay, so now when we test this, then you can see that it's already sized those up. But I just would rather leave it so that it doesn't have the last one have all that space. And to basically comment out code, you want to use 2 slashes, and now you'll see that it basically ignores that code and it goes back to spacing them equally. Alright, so now what we need to do is actually have it render out the text when we click on any of the events. So we're going to say, we're going to add an event listener. We need to say DataGrid.add event listener. Open parenthesis, it's an event with a capital E, it's a change event. Then we need to make a function, and we're going to call it, let's say, grid item selected, because that's what happened. And then we're going to close parenthesis, semicolon, enter a couple times, function. And then it's this right here, so I'm just going to copy that. Okay. Then we're going to have space, parenthesis, it's an event, colon, it's an event with a capital E, close parenthesis, void, and then, sorry, we need a colon void, then open curly bracket, enter a couple times, close curly bracket, and now inside of this we're going to basically render out in the text whatever was selected from this. So the way we're going to do that is setting my text equal to something. So we're going to say my text dot text space equals space, and then we're going to say let's say you want to attend the concert on, and then a space, and then we need to grab the date, so we're going to say plus, and then we need a space again, and then it's going to be event.target.selected.item.date, and then another plus, and then we'll add in some more words. Now basically what this is doing is it's the event is running the event, and then of the target, which is the data grid, and the selected item of the date is what you're getting there. So it's going to basically take the date by using this code, and it's going to put it there. So you want to attend the concert on this date, and then we're going to say plus, and then we're going to put two more quotes, and then inside of that we're going to say at, and we want spaces on each side of that so that it spaces out correctly. And then we need our time, so we're going to say plus, and then we're going to grab this, and we're just going to change the ending to time. And it's getting a little long here. Okay, we're going to say time, and then another plus, space, and then a couple more quotes, and inside of that we're going to put in, and then we're going to put the location after that. So we're going to, after this, we're going to put another plus, and then the next thing, which is going to be location. Okay, and then we're going to add a period at the end, so we're going to say plus quotes, and then we don't want any spaces, and we just want the period. And at the very end of that, don't forget to add a semicolon. So basically you want to attend the event on a certain date at this time, and then for or in the city that it's going to be in. So we'll test this out. We'll do control test movie. Everything seems to be okay. And as you can see, when I click on one of these, it says you want to attend the concert on July 15th, which is what I selected, at 5:30, which is the time, in New York City, New York. And then for each of these, as you click on them, it will change it. And this isn't as practical. You might not be wanting to render that out, but if you wanted to sell tickets or something for this, when they clicked on one, you could take them to a page so that they could buy tickets for that certain event. There's many applications with this. It allows you to take and show things in a set order. It's good for like schedules and things like that. So I hope you guys learned some stuff about the data grid today. Hope you subscribe, rate, and comment, and don't forget I'll have another component tutorial out tomorrow. Thanks for watching.